Now, the more I watch Ben Mendelsohn, the more I really love him. I think he's fantastic as Talos, but I also really like him as an actor right now. This is the most I've seen him in, and I feel like I've seen him in other stuff, but he never really like stood out to me. But here, killing it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Candid Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing episode 3 of Secret Invasion, and this episode was so good. It was so good. I really liked it more than the previous two. Again, I really think this should have come as a package, but I know that we have 3 episodes left. This is a really good turning point in the series. I think the slow burn and the setup within the first 2 episodes really made this one hit. You kind of understand the placement of each character now a bit more. Before it was kind of like up in the air, but it also left me confused at the end of this episode, and I'll get into that. Obviously, spoilers. By the time people watch my review, people had already seen Secret Invasion. If you're not watching Secret Invasion and you're waiting to binge, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna like spoil the ending of this episode because I was just like, huh? What's happening? So at the beginning of this, again, we have a little recap of what happened previously. The last thing we saw is that Nicholas J. Fury, is married to a Skrull. And he knows that she's a Skrull. We were kind of contemplating if he did or if he didn't. But the real thing here is that his wife is shady. Now, she low-key has every right to be because, one, he got dusted and she grieves him, and then he comes back and he voluntarily leaves her. So then she kind of got pissed off because she's like, if you're here, why wouldn't you stay with me? But he left. She's speaking to someone on the phone. We don't necessarily know who it is, but she's like, I don't have that information right now. Shady. We just want the best for Nick Fury. We have that little encounter, and it doesn't feel like a loving, marriage. It feels like they're out of obligation now, and it's very weird. So then after that little intro scene, we cut to 3 Skrulls who are infiltrating a British naval base, and they have these codes to kind of blow stuff up, possibly cause World War III. So they infiltrate the British Navy, which is next level, because obviously all you have to do is give 3 separate files to commanders within the Navy, and they're like, boom, Skrulls can change all of that. Then the big one, we see that Gravik is obviously developing some new serum to become a super Skrull. So not only can Skrulls shapeshift, they can take any weapon, they can take any power set and make it their own. This is what's exciting. But knowing the way they're going to write out the Skrulls, we're not going to get them with the Avengers. And that is just a disservice to this storyline, because I think that'd be really fun and it's exciting. But maybe they'll do that in the future because they're building it here. But I would really love to see that happen. After that, we go meet Gravik and Gaia. They're together right now. But Gaia is playing it differently, and I really liked Emilia Clarke in this episode. They gave her a bit more to do. So Gravik's telling Gaia the plan, and since she's kind of like a secret agent, she has to play both sides, and I like that about her, and we're starting to see that a bit more, and I think that'll play out extremely well in the second half of this season. Like I said in the first 2 episodes, Gravik is talking to Gaia, but it's more so testing her in what she has planned when working with him. So after Gravik and Gaia have that little meeting, he tells her that, Talos wants to have a sit down with him. Now, the more I watch Ben Mendelsohn, the more I really love him. I think he's fantastic as Talos, but I also really like him as an actor right now. This is the most I've seen him in, and I feel like I've seen him in other stuff, but he never really like stood out to me. But here, killing it, and I'm really enjoying his performance. So they have a sit down, Gravik and Talos, and they're talking about, the future of the Skrulls, the intentions of Gravik, and all of a sudden in the middle of it, the second Gravik brings up Gaia, Talos just grabs a knife and stabs Gravik, and like everyone just gets up. They're like, holy Lord, what's happening? But Talos is like, you better not mention Gaia, or something along the lines of like, keep my daughter's name out of your mouth. And I was like, ugh. Like, you go, Glen Coco, like, you tell him. But that was a really good scene. I was like kind of shocked that Talos went like that. So right after that, there is a bar scene, which I really liked, because Nick, even though they had that little argument, went to go find Talos. And you can tell that they've been friends for so long, and that the arguments like that they have are minor. They're not going to ever like ruin the friendship. So I really like that. I love their chemistry. So the reason why I love this bar scene so much is that they have great banter. And without even like knowing why Nick went to go see Talos, Talos is like, great. You have the nerve after saying what you said to me the other day, like, you're gonna walk in here as of nothing and ask like for my help. And then Nick's like, I ain't asking for help. I didn't say anything. So they know each other. And I think that's what's just so fun about both of them. And they are easily becoming one of my favorite duos in the MCU. Like, they're absolutely perfect. I love their banter. They're so fun. And they go back and forth here. And Talos is like, listen, if you have to ask me for help, you have to say it in one way. And he's like, Talos, I need your help. I am absolutely useless without you. And then Talos is like, no problem, that's fine. Like, he like slaps him on the shoulder, and he's like, yeah, man, let's do it. But he just needed to hear that there's like this level of respect and appreciation that they have for one another, and you can see that in the scene, and I really like that. Key to this is Gaia kind of did a little side hustle of her own. So when Talos walked out of the meeting with Gravik beforehand, she let someone kind of nudge Talos randomly. She gave him like a burner phone so they can stay in touch. And that's why he knew the coordinates before Nick did. So that was really cool. So she knows. She knows, and she's working with her dad. And I kind of like that it's a father-daughter dynamic there. So I like that she took the lead with that and isn't afraid to do so. But as a double agent, it's kind of scary. So they're in the car and they find out through Gravik what the next step is, the naval base, as I had said before. So obviously Nick's like, I know someone. So he calls Sonia. And Olivia Colman's a doll. She's like, well, found your little contact lens spying on me. And then she puts like an eye patch on the owl, which is hilarious. She's like, it looks like you. Like, that's what I'm going to rename my owl. And she's like, I'm kind of busy. I can't really come and help you do this and infiltrate and do the whole spiel. So Nick's like, can you just give me the name of the officer in the British Navy that I can kind of go, and they can overwrite the codes and everything will be saved. There won't be World War III. So she hands it over. The next section here has Talos and Nick working together. They get in there. They find out that the man who is running this as commander in the British Navy is actually a Skrull. So they have a little give and take of whether to kill them at the right time or not, because they're in a time crunch. Again, the suspense is there, not as much as I would have liked, because you know that they're going to save the day. And the more you watch these series, the more you understand the structure of each episode. So you kind of knew they were going to get out of this one. So that was fine. But I really like the Talos and Nick dynamic. So that leads into Gaia being able to unlock the Navy commander that they just killed, who was a Skrull, to unlock his memory chamber, I want to call it, at the headquarters, like the HQ in Skrullos. So she was able to do that while her dad kind of like told her, listen, like, we got him out. So now that Navy officer is running free as a regular person. So we don't know how many people are actually locked up or like in that chamber. I think we're going to see more of that, but I really liked that they showed that, and that Gaia is like this double agent, and I'm really loving that. But I can't really say that anymore, because Gravik was driving while Gaia was on her motorcycle. But it's like, but where are you coming from if you guys are going the exact same way? Why are you leaving at this hour of night? So Gravik is like, you're sus, very suspicious. And Gravik like shoots Gaia. So Gaia goes into her Skrull form, and we're like, huh? What? So Gaia got shot. Obviously, she's not dead. There's no way she's dead. Not in like episode 3. But I think that's going to be motive enough for Talos and Nick to be like, we're coming to get you, Gravik. So I think that's where it's leading to. Then this ending I didn't expect. So Nick's wife gets like the set of keys, and it's to a safety deposit box. And it's just like, it's a gun in a safety deposit box. But she's weirded out by it. And then right after, she gets a phone call. And it's so funny because they're trying to keep it a secret. And it's like, the way that they say it, because I watch it with captions on, just because I like reading what they're saying, so I get a better understanding. So it says "man on the phone" on the captions, and it's so clearly Don Cheadle as Rhodey calling her, and Don Cheadle as Rhodey. I'm assuming that's his voice because it's very familiar. It's kind of like the whole Mahershala Ali as Blade reveal, and I think Eternals or something in the post-credit scene. It was along those lines of like, you heard the voice and it's so familiar, but like this is clearly Don Cheadle. He was in like previous episodes, so like you know his voice, and I think it's Rhodey. So then she's like, I was expecting Gravik, and you're like, oh no, why is she expecting Gravik? And then you click in that it's Rhodey, and then Rhodey's like, well, yeah, you got me instead. And I'm like, what does that mean? So like, are they all working against Nick? Because you have Rhodey, you have Gravik, and now his wife in his own household. And I think that's why the title of this episode was called Betrayed, because not only do you look at it in the context of like Nick with his wife, and you're not looking at it as Gaia with Gravik, it's also like, what the hell's happening against Nick Fury? So that ending, I'm like, it said "man on the phone." I'm like, that is clearly wrote. I may be wrong, but I listened to it 4 times. I'm like, that is definitely Rhodey. So I don't know what's happening. This ending really got to me because they're playing it off as like, no, it's just like a man on the phone. No. Who was the man on the phone? So then you're going into episode 4, like questioning that, what's going to happen with Gaia. And I really like this episode. I'm probably going to give it like a 4.5 out of 5. I really like this one, and it's getting better. And I just hope, fingers crossed, with these 6 episodes, like they're going to stick the landing eventually. So I'm really happy about this. I think that they gave so much more context in regards to where the Skrulls are like taking this. And I really like it. I think Kingsley Ben-Adir did a bit more in this episode. I like him as a villain, but it's still not, I don't know, it's still not enough. Maybe when he becomes a Super Skrull, like I'll be really happy with that. But it's just, there's nothing there villainy wise that I'm like, oh my God, he's so great. It's just, it's one note for me still. But again, Ben Mendelsohn, cheers to you, man. I love you, and I love Samuel L. Jackson. Truly one of the best duos in the MCU. I'm really liking this show. So guys, please let me know if you enjoyed episode 3 in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And if you guys want to help me grow this wonderful channel, there are ways to do that in the bio below. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.